the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 20, and it reads, "And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmaments, and they shall see all together." First and foremost, I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, to the Akim and the Akwaf that are listening and learning. To you, I say Shalom. This brother Baal Malak coming at you with a quick lesson, man. And this lesson was inspired. I just had just sitting back thinking, and I recall a couple of months ago, several months, could be 4 or 5, it could be closer, when the so-called Edomite woman was asking her husband, how often do they think about the fall of the Roman Empire? And I was like, wow, that would be a good lesson. So I looked on Google, and I looked up the main factors, resulting in the fall of the Roman Empire, and it gave me the three main reasons that Google gave me, and we're gonna look at those reasons. So that's why I came out of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 20, because this world is beginning what? It's not this world, but this age is beginning to what? To fade away, man. It's beginning to vanish. And Esau, Edom, his rulership, his kingdom is coming to an end, because we know that America, Babylon the Great, is synonymous with a bunch of names that you'll hear the brothers, the apostles, the elders often say, but we know that America also is what? It's just a revision of the Roman Empire, from its political system to architecture, to its Roman games that they have. We just had one of the biggest, festivities of the year, the NFL Super Bowl. That's one of the parts of the Roman games. You also got what the Olympic Games is coming, it's one of the major factors of the Roman games. You'll be like, oh man, that's the Greek games. No, that's the Roman games as well. So, but we're looking at the 3 factors, to result in the fall of the Roman Empire, man. So that's why I came out of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 20, because what? The books are open before the firmament. And what are the books? The Old and the New Testament, along with the Apocrypha, man. Those are the books. It's not talking about, you Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, because y'all are uplift any book other than the Bible. That's one thing about you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Y'all are uplift any book except the Holy Scriptures. Because you, especially the Negro woman, y'all had Steve Harvey thinking that he was the greatest author in the world. You know what? To think like a woman, think like a man, and act like a woman. He wrote a book, and y'all women don't fail. Y'all don't fail from grace ever since y'all started reading, things that made from a man. Except y'all don't want to, y'all not inspired by the words of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Esau Edom, he even refused, to adhere to the words of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's why the Roman Empire is falling once again. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into it, man. It said the fall of the Roman Empire in Britain. Why it happened? It says political instability. It said the Roman Empire in Britain was ruled by several different people. As a result, political instability was almost at a certain in the Roman Britain. The Roman rule in Britain lasted more than 400 years, and they had several leaders during the different eras, all of whom established their own set of rules. For how Roman Britain was to be ruled. This caused a bit of a, kerfuffle? Matter of fact, we're gonna come back to that. I won't be able to pronounce that correctly, but we'll come back to it. We're gonna continue reading. After all, no one likes to be ruled. No one likes the rules and policies of a bygone ruler, and exactly what America is getting ready to be, a bygone ruler, man. America, Babylon the Great, the revision of the Roman Empire. We call it Sodom and Egypt, because this is where the Israelites are in captivity. Here in America, Babylon the Great. And why we call it Sodom, we have to say it every lesson. Why? Because, this political system this is part of the political instability, man. Well, you know, you got one part of the fractions, you know, whether the blue part, they trying to make everyone what hand in hand with the alphabet community. You know, the so-called red, the conservatives, what they saying, hey man, we with family, the family dynamic with a man and a woman, not a man and a man and a woman and a woman. See, that's political instability, man. The political instability also can be talking about political instability what's taking place on at the southern border. You know, the blue people, the so-called blues, they saying, hey, let everybody come in, free borders. You know, the conservatives, they saying, hey man, we got to police the border, man. We got to secure the borders. That's part of the West, political instability. You got talking about the jobs. You got the blues saying, hey man, you know, the economy is great. You know, and then you have the people on the red side, you know, the conservatives, the Republicans, they say, hey man, the economy is trash. You know, the people are crying saying, hey man, we can't afford homes, man. We can't afford what? You know, to work one job so you can earn a livable wage. See, that's all part of the what? Political instability. Y'all got what? Y'all are disenchanted, you know, with your boy Joe Biden. You know, now y'all are running over there to what? Donald J. Trump. That's political instability. So these are the main factors, man. You know, with what? The rise and the fall of the Roman Empire is also going to be the same reasons that the America, Babylon the Great, the Roman revision of the Roman Empire is falling. Let's go right to it, man. St. Luke chapter 11 and verse 17. But he, knowing their thoughts, said, who is that? This is Hamashiach Yahushua they referring to. He knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. And that's exactly what's happening, man. You know, you got what? The kingdom, this America, Babylon the Great, the kingdom is divided against itself. I just gave you all these reasons, you know, why this kingdom is divided against itself, man. And America is a great kingdom. And this is in the red letter. This is Hamashiach Yahushua speaking. Let's read it again. But he knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. And that's exactly, and again, that's exactly what happened, man. You know, you got the blue and the red people, what they saying, hey man, we no longer want to support the Ukraine war over there with Russia. You know, but then you got the blues, you know, and they saying, hey man, we're gonna continue to support, you know, for Ukraine. Then you got over there against the Palestinians, and you got what? The Israelis and the people saying, hey man, we no longer want to support that conflict. And the blue and the red, they once again, they're saying, hey man, you know, the blue is saying, hey, we stand behind the Israelis. The whole nation is saying, hey man, we tired of the genocide that the Israelis are committing against the Palestinians. That's a house divided against itself, man. A kingdom is divided against itself shall fall into desolation, man. These are some of the growing pains, man, that America, Babylon the Great is suffering. These are some of the growing pains. These are the birth pains that's happening to America, Babylon the Great. Because we know, because what? The books are open before the firmaments, and what? They shall begin to see. And who is the they? The hopeful elect and the hopeful 1/3. Because Esau, he's the basest of man, so he can't see his fall. A base man will always see himself in power. Go read what? Daniel, the 4th chapter and the 17th verse. Because Esau is what? The basest of man on the earth. I don't want this to be long. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, the 1st chapter. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 9. It said, a thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Just like the fall of the Roman Empire. It's going to be the same direct results of the fall of what? The Babylonian Empire. It's just a different name. It's just a different name. Verse 10. It said, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It have been already of old time, which was before thee. Verse 11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. See, and we don't came after the Roman Empire, and we have no remembrance. But the good thing is that the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua left the scriptures. The good thing the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, he had put on Esau Edom, the so-called white man, what, to leave a history behind. And I'm reading three of the main factors, you know, because the fall of the Roman Empire. And again, I have to say it and say it again. America is what? Is a revision of the Roman Empire once again. See, because there's nothing new under the sun. Can't nobody say, see, this is new. It have been of old times. That's why a base man, he won't take that information and that knowledge and say, hey man, we doing things wrong. See, a base man, he won't take that information and that knowledge and say, you know what? You know, the Roman Empire fell, and we'll sit down and let's see the characteristics that we have that's associated with the Roman Empire. They're not going to look at it like that. See, a base man, he going to say, hey, I got a military, you know, I got some weapons, you know, so I'm gonna rule it my way. I'm going to rule it my way. Because that's what a base man does. A base man, he don't take, you know, and he don't take, you know, the characteristics of why different kingdoms fail. All he can say is my kingdom is better than those kingdoms. And the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua did make America what? The glory of all kingdoms. But he also had in the Holy Scriptures written, you know, the fall of Babylon the Great. Let's go right to it. Where I wanted to go. Okay. Number 2. Again, I don't want this to be long. It said the military problems. Woo! Let's read it. It said the Roman army was a band of mercenaries, and that is the truth. No sugarcoating here. The military was made up of soldiers from across the sprawling empire. They only showed loyalty to the rulers and elected government when they were paid for their services. When the Roman Empire became cash-strapped and could not pay the military, the soldiers turned against their government and leaders. The mutiny and factions were a reason for the downfall of the Roman Empire. Woo, woo. And see, it was a band of mercenaries. And why? And you got the mighty men of Babylon. We're gonna get that for born to fight. Why? Because they understand that they fighting what? The bankers' war. You know, you got military, you got these military veterans that are coming from Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan, and they saying, hey man, that those citizens there that caused them was no threat to them. Saying they was over there fighting a bankers' war. They understood, and that's why they coming back and they protesting it, and they speaking out against the United States military. They speaking out against the military. You had, you know, during the 19, you know, you had your current Caesar. He was telling them if they don't take the jump shot that they had, they was kicking them out of the military. And now you have what? People refusing to join the military because they know that America has used their military as mercenaries. They go over there and what? And conquer the different lands, you know, for their natural resources. And America is getting all these natural resources, and then when they get back after they don't been in war, you know, they come back to their VA, and the VA tell them, hey, there's nothing we can do for you. Because they don't use the servicemen as mercenaries. It's the same thing, man. It's the same. It's this is the exact same thing, because Esau is a base man. He can't see this. Because he sit on his high horse, he don't see that, you know, he's making the same mistakes that the Roman Empire made. And that's a beautiful thing, because the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua have blinded him, you know, to the fact. Have blinded him to his evil and wicked ways. Let's read 2 again. It said the Roman army was a band of mercenaries. You know, and we'll keep saying it, man. You know, and that's what the Rothschilds, you know, the Oppenheimers, you know, the DuPonts, you know, and who else? The Rockefellers. That's what they've used, you know, the military for over the years, over generations, you know, as mercenaries. A country come out and say, hey, we're not going to support the American ways. What they do, they send that military in there. And now the men of Babylon are waking up for it. And that's why the recruitment numbers are very low in the Army, Air Force, Navy, and the Marines. The recruitment numbers are very low because what? No one wants to be a mercenary for the global banking families. No one wants to be a mercenary, you know, for the so-called president of the United States of America. And we know that he don't run anything. Because they, you know, they don't use the military as mercenaries for so long that people are fighting out against it now. And that's why they're going to have what? They're going to have a draft, you know, to have enough men, you know, to send over there to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, man. It's coming. It's coming, man. What else? Let's see what we got. Yo, this is where we was going to go. Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 30. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. They might have failed. They become as women. They have burned their dwelling places. Her bars are broken. And that's the mighty men of Babylon, man. Why? Because they no longer want to be mercenaries, you know, to the global banking families. They don't want to be used, you know, as simple tools. You know, so that the rich can get richer and they can come back and what? Continue to be poor. That's why the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. That's why the recruitment numbers are low. See, the same thing that happened in what? In the Roman Empire, man. The Roman Empire. And we're not even going to talk about, you know, when we go to this digital, you know, this central bank digital currency, you know, and when they start instituting these what? These social credit scores, you're going to have a lot more people, man, that's going to, you know, like, hey, man, we got to get out of this military. Because you're not going to be able to speak your mind. You're not going to be able to speak up against your government. You're not going to be able to speak on your so-called God. And 2/3 of the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know, they serving Buddha, Allah, and all these other gods because they're not serving the God of the Bible, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. It's the same thing, man. America, Babylon the Great is instituting the same thing that brought down the Roman Empire. You know, the same things are happening here in America, Babylon the Great. Okay, let's go. What number 3? Number 3, it said a lack of loyalty and distrust. It said a lack of loyalty from the military and distrust in the government among Romans were perhaps the biggest reason for the fall of the Roman Empire. Woo! Lack of loyalty and distrust. Let's read that at the start over again, man. It said a lack of loyalty from the military and distrust in the government among the Romans were perhaps the biggest reason for the fall of the government. And right now, the fall of the Roman Empire. And why do Americans don't trust the government now? Because they think that they stole the election. The 2020 election, the Americans think that the government took the election from Donald J. Trump. So they don't trust the government now. Lack of loyalty and distrust in the government, man. It's the same thing that happened in the Roman Empire. It's happening what? In Babylon the Great. And we know about Babylon the Great to be synonymous with America. You know, we know that Babylon the Great, you know, it is America. We know that Sodom and Egypt is associated what? With America. The Roman Empire is what? Associated with America. The same things that the Roman Empire, reasons why it fell, it's the same reason why America, the Babylon the Great, is going to fall. You got a lack of loyalty in the military. I just read that, lack of loyalty in the military is that the recruitment numbers are down. Distrust in the government. The people don't trust your political leaders any longer because they know they just a bunch of lying, stealing thieves. Whether that's the blue, other red side. No one trusts their government leaders now because they know that they're gonna sell them out anytime these lobbyists bring up that bag that their government officials are gonna sell them out. No one trusts the government, and there's no loyalty to the military now. Let's continue reading. Disloyalty from the military resulted in attacks on established governments. It's a disloyalty from the military resulted in attacks on established governments by soldiers, while distrust in the government among people led them to take matters into their own hands. And one of the biggest things, that when the people stop trusting the government, what did they do? One of the biggest things you could think about was the attack of January 6th insurrection on the Capitol in Washington, D.C. Matter of fact, I had pulled it, so we're going to get it. The same factors, man, for the Roman Empire is the same factors going to befall America, Babylon the Great, man. Let's get it. Let's see where we start at. January 6th, Capitol attacks. It's on January 6th, United States Capitol attack. On January 6, 2021, the United States Capitol building in Washington, D.C. was attacked by a mob of supporters of then U.S. President Donald Trump. 2 months. Let's keep reading. 2 months after the election, they sought to keep Trump in power by occupying the Capitol and preventing a joint session of Congress, counting the electoral college votes to formalize the victory of President-elect Joe Biden. The attack was ultimately unsuccessful in preventing the certification of the election results, according to the House Elected Committee. Investigating the incident, the attack was a culmination of a 7-part plan by Trump to overturn the election. January 6th insurrection, man, it should be the first thing you think about when you talk about lack of loyalty and distrust in the government. Disloyalty from the military resulted in attacks on established governments by soldiers, and these wasn't soldiers, but these were what? Civilians. Established governments by soldiers, while distrust in the government among people led them to take matters into their own hand. And that's what the people did on January 6th insurrection. They took matters into their own hand. Why? Because the American citizens are what? They have a lack of loyalty and distrust, in the government and the military. Is that this caused instability, ultimately led to the downfall and demise of the greatest empire in history. And this is in America, it's the greatest empire in history, because it's Rome all over again. Even Stevie Wonder can see it. Even Stevie Wonder can see that America is Babylon the Great. That it's a revision of the Roman Empire. The same thing that's taking place. I read the 3 factors that caused the fall of the Roman Empire. And all 3 of these factors, you can sit there and you can associate them with America today. That's why I came out of 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 20. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1, it said, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come to Egypt. And again, I told you, America, Babylon the Great, it got a bunch of names, biblical names in the Bible, man. But we know the mysteries. 2/3 of the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all don't know the mystery. I came out of a lesson a couple of days ago, said, because the Most High said, unto you, I've shown the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them I have not, man. Because we know the mysteries. The same thing that I came out of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 20. The Most High Yahweh Hashem shall reveal to Ezra, the angel, revealed to Ezra that the firmaments will be open, and then the books will be open. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahweh Bashem shall rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come to enter Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. You're gonna set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Same thing, the government, the Democrats against the Republicans, the Americans against the Americans. And they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof. And we know Egypt is also a synonymous what? Because we're talking about America, Babylon the Great, and America is synonymous with what? The Roman Empire as well. And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And there's no counsel, in America. Why? Because they have no reason, they have no understanding of why, the things that are going the way they're going. Why? Because again, Daniel, the 4th chapter, the 17th verse, the Lord Yahweh Bashem shot what he gave, the kingdom into a base man. And a base man, he can't perceive, the reason why America, Babylon the Great is falling. He can't perceive why the Roman Empire fell. That's what a base man, because what? The base is a man. And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to their idols, and to their charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, man. And that's exactly what they're doing, man. They use all these, these little enchantments. They use, whether it's medical, whether it's the charmers, whether it's through the media. They use all these little different things on the people, man. To get y'all in a dead state. And we know that 2/3 of the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans are in a dead state. We know that the Esau Edom, the low life Esau Edoms, the Edomites, they're in a low state, man. They're in a dead state because they can't perceive the Holy Scriptures. They can't tie, the fall of the Roman Empire. They can't tie the reason why the Roman Empire fell. They can't even tie it with America, Babylon the Great, to see why America is falling. So we're going to close it out there. I pray this lesson was edifying. I know I was a little all over the place, but, nevertheless, I pray that you take something out of this lesson. I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and to the Akim and the Aquaf that are listening and learning. To you, I say, Shalom.